is one of the covers. Berry Street is one of the covers. So I've actually been down to the Melbourne tunnels, different Melbourne tunnels around them locations on 10 occasions now. I've seen body parts of children, multiple children. I've also been to the docks and seen, I'd say hundreds, but there was probably thousands, I don't know, because it was a little bit of a distance, but there was body after bag, after chain, after rack, after cage, being thrown onto a shipping container. There was multiple shipping containers there, but I'm assuming they filled all of them. I seen one. I heard noises of children still wailing. It's very emotional to talk about. And they look like what I experience like charred little remains and very deformed. So I'm telling you this is real, and I'm telling you that for anybody who's watching who's saying release the footage when it's right, when it's safe to do so, and I mean safe legally, because I don't want to just release something and then remember I'm speaking to lawyers and barristers and they say, Lizzie, you aired it or you released a photo and now it can't be used as evidence in court. Okay, and I've been advised because of those reasons, I can't share certain things. I have a photo of Daniel Andrews dressed in a red and black robe, standing with 7 other people dressed the same, around an altar, a cement slab if you like, with a baby crying, moving. There's a few, like in images, you can see the child's alive. I don't know what happened after that. I wasn't able to see whether he was killed. He was a male child, but I know what I know, and there is no disputing it is Daniel Andrews, Daniel Michael Andrews. And I've seen you, Daniel, if you watch this at the airport, in Tullamarine Airport, because I live 12 minutes from the airport, when the first load of everything came in to do with the camera technology, and you were down there when the peak of the virus was at its extreme, allegedly, and you shook hands with multiple tarmac workers. None of you were wearing PPE. Nobody was wearing a mask. And I don't know what you took off of those crates and all those containers or what sort of deal that you've got going on, but it's not for the people. And this is not how you run a government. It's satanic, and we will not put up with it. And I don't care if I have to go down the Fabian rabbit hole, that this councillor shook and said he wouldn't even go. And I said to him, have you ever been invited? And he said, no, I'm not that important, and if I ever was, I would never go. And he said, Lizzie, don't go. Don't explore. Leave it alone. Forget I said this. Like, this is your life. The people who do that are only the elite. They're very few in Freemason, and it's a death warrant if you explore this. But who else is going to? Is anybody watching this going to explore Fabians? Not just online on Google. Are you going to go to a tunnel? Are you going to get a text message? Are you going to hunt people down, talk to them so that you can get intelligence? Are you going to go in undercover like I do? You wouldn't even recognise me, what I look like when I go undercover. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to put your head on the chopping block so that you can get evidence, multiple layers of evidence in multiple locations with multiple corrupt officers, councillors, mayors, politicians, so that we can then, with Serene Tefahar, and she knows all of what I'm saying, and Bevan Rees-James, and a whole pile of others, and a whole pile of other barristers who I won't name because they're dark, as in they are good people, but they work for dark people, and I have to be careful, but they're supporting this action. All right, so we need, if you've got intelligence, if you've seen things that you have footage, you know people, you have names, you have contacts, tell me, because I'm willing to hunt it down and expose it legally, and with Serene's class action as well that we're a part of, change. The idea is to bring this all down, expose as much as you possibly can handle, change the rules and regulations of our country alone, and Victoria particularly, the only state that's been sold to China, the communist China, and have a new world. Because I want to go back to having a new world as well and being happy and running my business and spending time in paddocks with pregnant horses like I did yesterday doing psychic readings.
Very well said.
There is now an enormous
lights flicker on a
silent avenue of trust. Heroes moving quiet, boots through a whirl of dust. They never asked for medals, never begged for fame. Just guarding broken innocence from a predator's game. Newspapers paint halos on wolves in disguise. Flash bulbs hide the hunger living deep in their eyes. Truth walks slowly while the headlines sprint. And every cover story smells like power and myth. I'm inspired by the people who fight for our rights on a daily basis. And I am far from a racist. But if you want to point the fingers to Zevi Frank, it's all the real players of the game. And this whole time researching and documenting things I cannot say how I've remained sane. Finally now the Epstein files are being verified. But what's got me in a shock is the fact that for years many people rather turn their head the other way, stating that it was a lie. Well, I got news for you, that there was around 9,000 or more dead charred. Children's bodies found inside an abandoned Melbourne train tunnel a few years ago. What happened after that? Discovery was a million tears, but by the elites there was absolutely zero. They say don't be a hero, but these days I need something like a light switch, yo. Hopefully one day they will all just go without force. And if I were you, I wouldn't bite the hand that feeds you, because as human beings we all bleed too. And we will not stand for this anymore until a politician or two bleeds through. Just to live life anew. Guardians in hoodies watching corners at night, fighting for the voices far away from the light. Some wear badges, some just carry scars and prayer. But the bravest kind of warrior is the one who cares. Public smiles, private sins buried deep in the press. Truth gets strangled by a tailored suit and a desk. Still the quiet ones rise when the darkness begins. For the children, for tomorrow, for the fight within. Finally now the Epstein files are being verified. But what's got me in a shock is the fact that for years many people rather turn their head the other way, stating that it was a lie. Well, I got news for you, that there was around 9,000 or more dead charred. Children's bodies found inside an abandoned Melbourne train tunnel a few years ago. What happened after that? Discovery was a million tears, but by the elites there was absolutely zero. They say don't be a hero, but these days I need something like a light switch, yo. Hopefully one day they will all just go without force. And if I were you, I wouldn't bite the hand that feeds you, because as human beings we all bleed too. And we will not stand for this anymore until a politician or two bleeds through. Just to live life anew.
And I'm making my way to the car to head off to work. As I put my foot onto the first step, I knew I was in trouble. I didn't really connect with the step, it just slid straight off. I became airborne almost, so I'm horizontal with the step, and then all I could hear was just this almighty crunch. And that's when I knew that when I heard the crunch, I thought this is serious, we're in trouble here.